Hi, guys, and welcome to our weekly podcast. I'm here with Richu joining us. And today we're going to be discussing a really good topic, one that we've heard a few times in the past few weeks from you guys, and one that I think is going to help you so much to realize that it's all in your mind. It's all a mindset shift that you need to help you reach your fitness goals. So we're going to be talking exactly about self-worth. Is your self-worth stopping you from reaching your fitness goals? Because I think this is one of those things that it can be in the back of your brain, that little voice, that annoying voice in the back of your brain telling you that you're not worth it, telling you that you will never be able to achieve those goals. And obviously that's something that has happened to us as well. Like I can relate to this so much, and I can put myself and be like, yep, this has happened to me in the past. There has been so many times that I told myself, you're not worth it, you're a failure, you will never be able to reach those goals. There's no way you're going to make it happen. You're not good enough. And you know, that little talk that you have with yourself that it's not worth it, but you just have it because you can't help it. Hello, Richu. Thank you for being here. But tell us, like, can you relate to this? Like, has this happened to you in the past?
Hi, Daniela. Good evening or good morning for you. So yeah, I would definitely say it's something that I have experienced and I've really had to grow from. So I feel like growing up for me, Daniela, I was often told, I think maybe from like peers and school and other people, they would say, no, you cannot do this thing. You can't achieve that. How can you do that? That won't happen. That's not written for you. Like people used to tell me that I couldn't. And then I decided, no, I am going to do it and I am going to make it. And I feel like this definitely came around when after I finished university, I had definitely put on a lot more weight than I was like used to or accepting or like that I'd ever have done. You know, I was the biggest I'd ever been. And I was in this new body and I really wasn't very happy. And I knew I wanted to change. So I like took hold of my fitness and stuff. And I think one of the things that I did then, and then when I decided to compete, was have a vision of myself. Right.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm like already giving a lot of answers already, but
Yeah.
this was my experience that I felt that I couldn't do something, because someone told me, and secondly, because when you can't see it, it's really hard. It's like someone's put blindfolds on you and you just can't see your way out.
Yeah.
You can't see yourself getting out of that. And so I'll just kind of stay quiet on my tip, but I'll let you you crack on and yeah.
Yeah, but I like what you mentioned. I think that's something that we're going to discuss later. Like visualization, it's something that helps so much. It has helped me so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something that not many people practice.
Yeah.
It's not something that many people do. Maybe because it's really hard for some people. It's really hard for us to close our eyes and like picture that is seen, picture yourself reaching those goals. And that's because we have this negative self-talk. We are constantly telling ourselves that we are not going to make it happen. We're constantly reminding ourselves that there's no point of you even trying this, that you have already tried so many things. And I feel like one of the main reasons why people feel like when they want to start with the journey again, or they want to lose body fat again, I say again, because maybe they've tried so many different ways in the past, or they've tried so many things in the past. So when they want to try something new, they tell themselves, what's the point of me even starting with this? I already tried plenty of times. I was obviously not successful. So what's going to be different now? And you just feel like, no, there's no point. This is just the way my body is. I just need to accept the way I am, even though you might be overweight. And remember, we're talking about your health, not just the way you look. And we know like being overweight is not healthy. Long term, you're going to have so many health issues. And some people accept that because they may think like, I just have really big bones. It just runs in my family. So I just need to accept it. It's just the way I am. I need to accept it. And sometimes I don't accept it. Like you can change it just because you've had so many bad experiences in the past. It doesn't mean that you want to keep having the same thing every single time. It only means that what you've tried didn't work out for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't give it your 100%. Maybe what you did was not realistic. Maybe you're not very consistent with what you were doing. But that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of getting the body that you want or achieving the goals that you want. So I think, having those bad experiences, it's probably one of the main reasons why you feel you don't deserve the change or you don't deserve to be in this fitness journey. But there are also other things, like what's something else you think that people tell themselves and they feel like this is not worth it? Or yeah, their self-worth is like down here and they just feel like they don't deserve to achieve that fitness goal.
I think, again, what, like we said, sometimes seeing is believing, and because they haven't seen that and they haven't experienced it yet. So, you know, for example, if somebody has grown up and, you know, perhaps maybe they've battled, you know, weight challenges and being larger than everyone else in the classroom, they've experienced that their whole life. And then as they become into their teenage years and their adult years, they find it very difficult to change out of that. They're almost very stuck. But I think the key thing here is, just because something has always been a certain way, yes, we are all individual. That is so true. There's a very different thing. There's a very big difference between being sort of, you know, like you say, overweight and being somebody who's just a bigger person, right? Because we all do have very structurally different body shapes, and that we can never take away from. I get it. But every single one of you out there, you have the ability to enhance what you have. So if you are somebody that has wider hips, right? Well, listen, your shape will be different to someone who's straight up and down. And I think it's just learning, yes, to accept that part, accept that you're individual and you're unique, but understand that you can still maximize your true potential when it comes to your health. And also, yes, you know, how you look aesthetically as well, because at the end of the day, we know that as soon as you start working in your body, it's going to make you feel mentally much better. And how you feel mentally is going to affect how you perform out there in the real world. So when it comes to your relationships, you know, how you feel around your partner, how you feel around your friendship group. Are you the person that hides at the back, or do you come to the front because you're proud of who you are, you're proud of your shape, you're proud of the work that you've put in, you know? And that's the key thing here. Is it's not just, you know, about this is what I am and that's it. It's like there's something in the journey of pushing and doing something hard and taking your body out of its comfort zone. And I think that's the key thing to remember. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And I think like that's one thing that many people don't realize, that not feeling their best, like not having the body that they want or not reaching their fitness goals, this is really affecting and impacting other areas of their life. This is impacting the relationship. This is impacting them at work, maybe the relationship they have with their friends or family members. And sometimes it's hard for someone to accept that. Like when you ask them that question, they're like, oh, it's not impacting anything. It's just, you know, I just don't like the way I look, but it's not really impacting me. But if you really think about it, like if you don't like the way your body look, how do you think that makes you feel around your partner, how you mentioned? How do you think that makes you feel when you are with your friends at the beach and they're all wearing bikinis and you are curry up wearing a sweatshirt or t-shirt and track pants because you don't want to show your body? That is impacting you somehow. That is making you feel like, you know, I don't want to show off. I don't want to show my body. Or at work, maybe you are not willing to take new challenges because you feel like, what's the point? I'm just going to fail. What's the point of me putting my hand up if it's not worth it? Like, I don't know anything. I don't know the topic, sorry. And it's just, this can really, really impact you. And I think another reason why people may have this low self-worth, it's because of comparison. Comparing yourself to other people too much. And I can talk from my own experience, not with my fitness journey, but I remember when I was younger, I have a sister, she's older. I love my sister. But you know, there's always like one sister that's a little bit smarter than the other sister in some areas. Like I was more like the girl who was really good at dancing, music, and she was really good at maths, English, you know, all those papers. But I always felt like, why, you know, she's much smarter than me. Like she finished high school, she went straight to uni. And I was like, I will never be able to do that. Like, I'm not smart enough. I will never be able to get accepted into uni. I will never be able to finish my degree. And that's because when I finished high school, I didn't go to uni straight away because I thought like, I'm not going to make it. What's the point of me wasting my money, wasting my time? I'm just not going to make it happen. I'm not smart. And that's a narrative that I keep telling myself every single day. Like, I'm not smart. I should,
Oh,
I wasn't made to study science. Like, this is not for me, blah, blah. But then I pushed myself and I was like, you know what? If I want to do this, I'm just going to make it happen. And then I went to uni. It was obviously a struggle because I
yeah.
already had the narrative in my brain that I'm not smart enough. But when you
And
try and you push yourself out of your comfort zone, even though, yes, it's challenging, you just prove yourself like, wow, you can actually make it happen. And then once I finished my degree 4 years later, I was like, wow, I actually made it happen. Like, I pushed myself, I challenged myself. And it just proved me like you can make anything happen, like if you really want to do it. And I feel like, okay, I really need to stop comparing myself. Like, why am I even comparing myself to my own sister?
yeah.
Like, why?
Daniela, like everything you've just said there, I feel like, guys, I'm just going to say this. We've never met, like face to face, skin to skin. That sounds that sounds hilarious. But we've never actually, we have connected online. Obviously, we've got wonderful experiences and things to tips and tricks and stuff to share. But Daniela, everything you said was so similar to me and my older sister. My older
Really?
sister growing up was the clever one.
Yeah.
And then when I was introduced to, like, my granddad would like sit us down and like, we'd be like at my grandparents' house, they'd have guests over and he'd always sit me down. He'd go, this one is the sporty one. And I was like, okay, gee, that's all I am. I was never told to go to university. I was never encouraged to go to university. It was only when I got to the age of 26 that I chose to do the hardest thing that I had ever imagined. And in my mind, the thing that felt like this was so different from anything else, such a weird, crazy experience for me personally, was university. So similar to you, it was like, okay, I'm going to go and sign up to university. And my first essay that I wrote at university, we had like I think, like you say, the science topics. Do you remember doing the, I don't know if you guys did it on your course on the sports science side of things, but it was like something about cells and, oh gosh, I can't remember. Someone's going to message us and tell us, aren't they? Anyway, whatever topic it was, we had to write like a structured piece of coursework for it, right? Read a book and rewrite in your words or whatever it was. I remember going home, I had a piece of paper, I wrote the title, and I remember going, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do next. And I sat there for about 4 hours and it was
Wow.
I just didn't know how to write. I didn't know how to write an essay. I had no idea how to write coursework. It was beyond me until I actually did ask for help. And I asked someone, look, what do I do? And they were like, well, firstly, you need to structure it. So you need to ask the question. You need to explore that. And, anyway, the rest is history. I made it. So did you.
You made
Virtual
it.
high five.
Yeah.
Applause for both of us. And that's why we are here as ourselves. But no, I just thought that was so interesting about like comparison to other people. It's just really does get the better of you. We're all individual.
It does. And I remember like when I was at uni, it was so intimidating because like I wasn't old, but I felt really old. I think I was like 22 or something. Because the people that got at uni, they like start
18.
from 17, 18, they're so
Yeah.
young. They have, this baby face. And I will go every day feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. Like everyone here is so young and I'm so old. And I just feel like, wow, like this is intimidating. Like everyone knows each other. I don't know anyone. Everyone just finished high school. They know what they want to do with their lives. I don't know what I want to do with my life.
And
And
then you
it's
had to
just,
write essays.
and then you had to write essays. And yeah, I had no clue how to do it. I had to take science, chemistry, biology. And I never took science in high school because here in high school in New Zealand, you can pick your subjects. So I dropped all science. I didn't take anything. So I was like, what did I put myself into? Like, what am I doing to myself? But, 4 years later, it happened. We made it happen. It wasn't easy, of course, but I think the whole point is just to remind you guys, like, we can make anything happen. And if it wasn't for something that happened to me that time that told me just push yourself and get it done, maybe by now I will still be lost, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, maybe just working for someone else, maybe working in retail, just doing something, very basic something that I was doing before. And I know I would not be happy at all. And I
Yeah.
know I will have that constant narrative in my head telling me that you're not worth it, you're not good enough. There's no point of you trying something because you're gonna fail straight away. There's no point of you to pushing yourself because you're gonna fail. So yeah, I think comparison, it's a big one.
Mm.
And another one that I think it's really big also, it's social and cultural pressure, which is something you kind of touch
Ah,
a little bit on. Like your family telling you, yeah, she's the good one, she's good at sports, or like they don't encourage you to go to uni, or they compare you to your sister or your friend or your cousin. I think those things can also be in the back of your brain, of your mind,
yeah.
and that can make you feel like it's not worth it. There's no point of me even trying. Like I shouldn't be doing this. This is not for me.
Mhm.
This is just not for me. Like what's the point?
Yeah.
There's no point of
That's,
me doing anything.
I feel like we've touched on the cultural thing in the past, actually, for both of us and our like backgrounds as well. But again, I think like you said before, or I think one of us mentioned this. I don't know if I said it. I can't remember. We both have. But
Yeah.
listening to other people's opinion of what you should or should not do, and these are almost like they're like past they're past traumas, aren't they? They're things that you haven't unpacked in your own mind and that you
Mm.
end up taking with you through to adulthood. So if you constantly told you're this way, you're that way, you cannot do this, you won't do that, you will not succeed, it's like being programmed into you already. So a lot of what
Yeah.
we're trying to do, it sounds crazy, but it's like deprogramming old
Mm.
things that you have accepted and built on, you've kept living that same narrative over and over again. Something has to change and something has to give.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like the self-image that you have of yourself right now. Like something you want to ask yourself is like, okay, is this self-image that I have about myself because I want to be this way, or because this whole time my parents told me that I should be this way, or my family told me this is the way I am? Because when we're little, obviously we don't know anything. We learn everything from our parents, from our environment. So you grow up with those beliefs, oh yeah, with those values, with those beliefs. But once you are a little bit older, you can change those things. If you don't like something, you can always change it. Don't ever feel stuck in the body that you are. Don't ever feel stuck in that belief that you have of yourself. If you want to change something, you can 100% change it.
Yeah.
There's no impossible. Like even the world itself, it says there's no impossible. Like you can change anything. And I think one of the best ways to change this and to remind yourself that you are worth it, to remind yourself that you can make anything happen, it's to be kind to yourself and to practice self-comparison. Because if you keep telling those things to yourself, if you keep being too mean to yourself and then you keep telling yourself like I'm not worth it, I'm not worth it, I will never make it happen, then you will never make it happen because you're telling yourself you're never going to make it happen. But you need to change that. Like next time you have those negative thoughts, challenge that, challenge those thoughts and change it with something positive. Even if you don't believe it just yet, with time it's going to be easier for you to be like, actually I can make it happen, actually like I'm worth it and I will make it happen. So every time you find yourself, every time you have those thoughts, which remember, those negative thoughts, it's something we cannot control. They just happen and they're going to happen all the time. And it happens to everyone. Trust me, you're not special. You're not the only one. It happens to all of us. Like even the most successful people in the world, if you read their books or listen to their podcasts, they will tell you this. They still have those negative self-talks and they still have that self-doubt. This will happen. But you can learn to control it, or you can learn to think a little bit different and to ensure that you don't let those thoughts, switch that, and to ensure that you don't let those thoughts control you. You can control them.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that you can start doing right now.
Yeah.
What's something else that you will suggest, Richu?
Yeah. So I think the like pretty much sums up what you've said, but positive affirmations. So just again, having that kindness and incorporating something within the week where you actually do sit down and look at the things that you are really happy of. And like it's very difficult to kind of look back in life and actually look back and self-reflect and go, do you know what, these are my past accomplishments, this is what I've managed to do, and reminding yourself of like the strengths that you have. What are the things that you have that again bring you back to your uniqueness? So even if it's just like your listening skills, being able to listen to people, being able to be compassionate for others as well, like that is such a strength. It's very I don't know, it's very easy to kind of sit now and go, this is what it is. But I promise you, if you just close your eyes for like a couple of minutes and you just kind of practice and you go, you know what have I done in the last last year, because we are drawing to the end of 2023, and you go, where was I this time last year? Who was I and what was I doing? Having that reminder that you've already had growth. So something has happened, and change is inevitable. Change is constantly going to be happening. It's not just in the mind. Our bodies are changing every millisecond. We're constantly going through this process of cell rejuvenation, constantly. There's so many processes going along in our bodies. Now, imagine if your body's decided, actually, we cannot be bothered to change. We're not going to respond to this stimulus. We would just be a pile of mush, right? I'm going deep here.
Yeah.
But just celebrate your accomplishments. Like, Daniela, I ask you, who were you and what were you doing 5 years ago? Let's take it further. How about even 10 years?
Wow. Okay. Give me 1 second to think about. So 10 years ago, let me just think. I think just finishing high school, maybe, I don't know, around that time. I was very shy, like extremely shy.
Yeah.
I was stuck in my own little bubble. I was never, ever pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I was way too afraid. I was always embarrassed. I was embarrassed of my accent. And that's something that I mentioned to you earlier today. I don't know why, but I was so embarrassed of my accent. I wasn't happy at all because, we moved to a new country and I felt like I didn't belong here. I felt like I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I feel like, I'm so lost. I have no idea what's going to happen with me in the next few years. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to reach my goals, or I didn't even have any goals. Like I was clueless. I was lost. My confidence was really low. I felt like I was not worth it. I felt very unhappy. Yeah, I was not a good place. But it's crazy to think, 10 years ago, that was me. And now 10 years later, this
Look
is
at you
me.
now.
Like, yeah,
Look
like a
at you
complete different
now.
person.
No,
Like complete different person, like talking to you guys. Like it's social proof that we can make it happen. Like we can change, and we keep changing every single year. You're not the same person.
No, you're not. I love that whole thing. Someone started off, I think maybe it was like 2020 it came out, when they do the 10-year challenge and they put 10 years, like, so like, for example, if you were to do that Christmas or like New Year's, like you're coming into the new year. So you go, this was me on the last day of 2013, and this was me on the last day of 2023, and just have a look at that growth. And even if you don't want to take it that far, because perhaps you're only 22 yourself listening to this, and maybe you were 12 years old, and that's a bit difficult because a lot happens through your teens, right? But maybe if we just even take the last few years, the like last 2, 3, even 5 years, just like that mini comparison, the comparison of A to B within your adulthood, and go, that's who I was and that's where I was. I think that's massive.
Yeah. That's
Definitely.
something you guys can try. Yeah, if you're watching this, if you're listening to the podcast, make sure straight after this, once you finish listening to this, go somewhere quiet by yourself, get a pen and paper, or get your phone and look up the pictures from you from 10 years ago, if you have them, of course, or 5 years ago. And then just remember how you were 5 years ago. Remember who that person was. Who was she wearing? What was she wearing? How was she feeling? What was she doing? What was she thinking about? Obviously, you won't be able to remember every single little detail, but the more you can remember, write it down. And then on the other side, write down everything that you are right now. How do you feel right now? How do you dress? How do you see yourself? What do you think about yourself? What are the new skills that you have learned? And you will see like those just doing this little exercise, how much it's going to help you. Because just now that you asked me that question, it makes me realize like, wow, I have grown so much. Like it's been 10 years, but the growth has been amazing. So that's, yeah, try that. I think that's going to make you feel better. And it's going to remind you that you are winning, you are making changes, you
And
are progressing, you're not stuck.
Change is inevitable, right? That's it.
Yeah.
You will look back and you'll go, at 60 years old, what on earth was I worrying about change? Because change happens. So when we're thinking about the mindset and the here and the now, and we're thinking about like a fitness goal, for example, and you want to tone up, ladies, or you want that last bit of fat loss, or maybe your journey's a little bit longer and you are looking at overall weight loss, whatever it is. Oh my God, I almost just ate my mic there. Yeah, just remembering that things will change. And so you have to kind of take the approach slightly into the future. And we talked about this and touched on it earlier, but having that visualization. So Daniela, can I share with you what I did when I was trying to change physically?
Yeah, but before I do, let me ask you, who were you 10 years ago?
Wow. Do you know, as I asked you and as you were talking, it's really difficult to remember because 2013 is a long time ago.
It is, yeah. Okay, let's do 5 years ago. Who were
Okay,
you
5 years ago.
ago?
5 years ago, I had finished university, living my adult life, because I went to university as a mature student, such as yourself. And I was PTing and I did my first fitness comp and I signed up to do like a nutrition course. Believe it or not, I've done it now, but I signed on that. I packed in all this stuff. And then I'd also, with it, you know what? 2017 is an interesting year. And I don't know if you're ready to hear this, but 2017, I was working in a gym as a PT. I woke up one morning and I was like, do you know what? I think I'd been applying, or I'd been looking at jobs abroad. I almost moved to Shanghai. I got like offered a job in Shanghai, believe it or not.
Really?
And then I went, no, Shanghai's too far, because they were giving me the rundown with the contract and stuff that I'd go there and I wouldn't be able to leave until like a lot later, because it's such a far place to travel. And we were actually, basically they were recruiting people to set up like a gymnastics company out there. So I think they had investors and stuff, but they wanted to take coaches and stuff out there. And then I woke up one morning and I went, okay, I want to go somewhere halfway in between. And I picked Dubai. And I went, okay, I'm going to go to Dubai and set up there and stuff. And I spent some time exploring that option, and I wasn't really that made up about it. I think my heart really wasn't in it. And then I actually at that point left the PT world and actually started working, because I'm qualified as a sports therapist. So I went and started working in a physiotherapist physiotherapy clinic in London. It was multidisciplinary. So I got introduced to the Pilates world there. That's what happened 5 years ago. And, I'd always done Pilates, but I'd never really known much about like the equipment side of things and the reformer that was people were starting to open up studios and stuff. So I was really blessed to be able to pick that up there. But yeah, I think there was a lot of exploration. There was curiosity about the future, but I don't really know how much action there was. I think there were a lot of sowing of seeds. And I just look back and I go, who I was then, who I am now, it's only 5 years, but it's massively different in terms of like my skill set has massively grown. My mindset has massively grown, my confidence, being sure of who I am. And like, I'm going to throw this out there, but that is why I created, or how I've created my own program as well, the Girl Boss Method, because it literally is like the evolution of me, right? Getting to this stage. yeah, I think there's just been loads of growth, and yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I feel like so much has happened in those 5 years. Like 5 years is not really too much time, but
Yeah,
it sounds like you've changed like
like
this, like so much, 180 degrees, which is
head to
amazing.
tail. Yeah,
Yeah, good on you. Well done.
thank
You're
you.
so inspirational. That's amazing.
So are you, Daniela, honestly. Oh,
Let's not get too emotional, please. Let's not cry.
for
Let's
those
not
of
cry in
you
the
that are
podcast.
watching YouTube edition, yeah.
Yeah.
So taking it back, we were going to talk about visualization. So do you want to,
Mm,
I'll let you take it from here because I feel like I need a little rest.
yeah. 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 Let me take it. And this is something I want you guys to do with us right now.
Mm.
And Richu, I want you to do it as well. I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna guide you through this, but this is something I want you to do, not just right now that you're listening and watching this, but I want you to do this literally every single day.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things that if you don't practice consistently, if you don't see it consistently, you're gonna think that the dream or the goal that you have right now, it's too far away and that you will never be able to accept or to reach that goal. But if you practice it, trust me, it's gonna help you so much. So I want you to close your eyes right now.
I'm going to close my eyes.
And yeah, close your eyes, close
Okay,
your eyes.
okay, cool. I'm
If you're
closing them,
driving,
guys.
please don't close your eyes. Yeah, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. You can do this later.
I'm gonna do this real time.
Yeah, but if you can, please close your eyes. And I want you to think about the person that you want to be 2 years from now. Okay. 2 years from now, picture that person, picture the scene. Like, where is she right now? Where do you want to be in 2 years? Maybe you want to be in a new country. Maybe you want to be in a new house. Maybe you want to be in a new environment. Just picture exactly how that will look. If it's a new house, for example, how is your room? What are the colors of the walls? What are there any paintings around the house? Do you have a couch that is a specific color? Do you have anything that you want to have in your potential home in 2 years from now? And I also want you to see yourself. Like, how do you look right now? How do you see yourself? What are you wearing? How do you feel about yourself? Look at yourself in the mirror right now and see that person. Are you happy with that person? Are you happy with the way that you are seeing yourself? Are you happy with your body? Is that the body that you have always wanted to have? Like, think about that body. Maybe you want to have really big shoulders. Maybe you want to have really toned arms. Like, think exactly about everything that you want to achieve. If you want to have a six pack, think about that six pack. Think about your legs, everything, like from head to toe, all the changes that you want to make, all the things that you want to achieve. And not just visualize how your body looks, but I also want you to feel the emotions. I want you to feel how that person feels. How do you feel? Are you a confident person? Are you someone who feels really worth it about the things that you're having? Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of the things that you have achieved? Do you feel happy with yourself? Do you feel happy with everything, with the people around you? Is this something that you want to be? Is it something that you want to feel? Because emotions is something that is truly, truly going to help you. So don't just see the picture, but also feel the emotions. And if you're smiling, it's because you're probably getting excited about the future. You're probably getting excited about that person that you're going to become very, very soon. And just remind yourself that's going to happen. That is you in 2 years. Okay. We're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
You simply have to keep doing the work. And now I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to have that image of yourself every single day.
Wow.
Whenever you feel like, whenever you feel like maybe there's no point of me doing this, there's no point of me doing that, just remember that person 2 years from now, it's watching you right now. And I want you to be that person. Don't, start acting like that person now. Don't wait until 2 years to start acting like that person. If you want more confidence, if you want to feel better about yourself, start feeling better about yourself. Start being more confident. Start doing all the things that you wanted to do. Because if you wait for the perfect moment, we always say this, but the perfect moment never starts. Start acting like the person that you want to be. Start making the decisions that the person you want to be will make, and start being that person right now, because that's truly, truly going to help you. And yeah, again, practice this every single day. I love doing this exercise because I feel like visualization, it just makes you feel excited. Like, it makes you feel so happy, especially those times that you feel upset or you feel like, what am I feeling? What am I doing right now? Doing that little exercise that will literally take you less than 5 minutes, 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 1 minute, it will just make you feel better. And it will remind you of why you're doing the things that you're doing right now, and that you're worth it, and that you can make anything happen. But yeah,
Wow.
that's how I do it. That's the little thing that I do,
Daniela, I
and that
love
it helps me.
that in itself was like an emotional experience, but a very motivational, speech from yourself, if you like. And I feel like I'm going to listen to this and listen to your voice. Not driving, I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to wake
Yeah,
up.
not
Oh,
driving.
right, Daniela, do you know what? Maybe you could just like record it for me just separately, and
Yeah.
that was really
Maybe I
nice.
should.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really
thank
good.
you.
Yeah, I love that. That visualization was great. Yeah. Who do you
It
see
just helps
yourself
you.
as in 2 years when you do that? Who are you?
2 years, yeah.
Who are
The
you?
thing that I see for myself in 2 years, I see someone, honestly, I keep seeing this picture, but I see me in a stage somewhere talking to my girls, to my team, and there's people coming to see me. And I'm just talking about my success. I'm talking about how successful, in a way that just to prove you guys that you can make anything happen. That's my main point. And I'm talking to people. I'm reminding everyone that, if you want something, you can make it happen. You just have to work hard for your goals. I'm wearing shoes, Nike shoes. I just like Nike shoes. I don't like heels. I'm wearing like a nice crop top, something white, like a nice crop top with like white pants and white blazer, and just being in front of stage, holding my microphone, talking to people, giving my speech, and everyone there is just clapping, and they feel motivated, and that just makes me happy. That's the main image I have right now. In 2 years from now.
That's amazing. Similarly, I had a similar one.
Yeah, what's yours?
Is that so? I'm wearing like gray. I like the color gray. I'm wearing gray trousers, and they're like wide leg, but they're like fitted around the waist. And I've got this really nice. I've got a white shirt on actually, and it's like a nice, relaxed white shirt. One that's just like, hey, I am like businesswoman, but I'm just really relaxed and cool, and I just dress like this because it's cool. Shoes wise, I couldn't really pinpoint it, because when you look at that, you see the uncomfortable shoes, but then I'm like, hey, I want to wear Nikes. Yeah. Maybe I'll have, I don't know, a pair of like Skechers walking shoes or something. Like, yeah. So it was literally, again, being in front of a stage, people coming there to listen to what I have to say, sitting in a nice relaxing chair, actually, nice like nice chair, and just talking and inspiring and being a leader. And then I did flip at some point when you were talking. I flipped to myself, just like being in my home and having a nice light pink wall, not like that color, but like nice soft pink wall. And yeah, just having like really, like, like when people have like artwork in their house, like having like nice, like, I don't know, fancy, I don't, like a black and white picture or something, on the wall or something, just something cute. But yeah, that's it, really. And and being older and like being really nice and like a muscly and stuff in the gym. That's it. Yeah, that came.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like one day, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I feel like one day we're gonna meet up in person and we're gonna be together on that stage.
Yes. Yes, we are. We're gonna make that happen, Danielle. I love that. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. So you guys can keep us accountable. That's gonna happen.
Exactly. That's it. New Zealand, Peru, or London. I don't know why I say London like that. England.
England.
Everyone always, you guys think of London, right? You don't think England straight away. You think London. What comes into your mind?
I think about, like, when I think London, I just picture straight away like the red, you know how like tourists take those pictures in the telephone thing, the red,
do you
whatever
think
you call
London
it
straight away, or do you think England? So like when you talk to me, you go, oh, she's from England, or do you go, oh, she's from London? What do you see? What comes in?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I always say she's from the UK.
Oh, okay, cool. All right then.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right then. That's cool. We'll take that.
UK.
Yeah. I always think of like Peru, and then I just think of, when I think of Peru, I think of like llamas.
Yeah, I think
and then when I think of New Zealand, I think of like mountains and stuff. Are they?
Yeah, because it's so like,
green,
it's
very
so like
green,
nice and
though,
green.
and hilly
Green,
and green. Yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah.
definitely some big blockbuster movies has been filmed out in New Zealand. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks amazing. It's amazing. Like, I think this country is beautiful. It's so nice. It's so clean. It's so peaceful.
Yeah.
It's relaxing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to the topic, is there any other tips that you want to add about how you can improve? I wouldn't say improve, but how you can ensure that you remind yourself that you can make those goals happen, that you don't have to accept the way that you are. You don't have to accept that maybe this is just me. Maybe I will never be able to reach my fitness goals.
Yeah.
Maybe I will never be able to change my body structure or the image that I have for myself.
Yeah.
Of myself.
Okay. My tips. Okay. Think about where you are right now. Again, think positively, challenge that sort of negative self-talk. Think, why am I doing that? Really try and unpick why. Think about your strengths, your accomplishments. Think about goal setting for the future as well. Maybe even challenge your support network. So the people around you, like, are they, like, we are the reflection of those around us. So you want to surround yourself with like-minded and positive people and influences. So you really want to do that. And you want to, yes, celebrate your achievements, but look, we're human. Stuff doesn't always go to plan, but always have that growth mindset and growth mentality and think, this is what happened in the past. I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to change and attack it in a different way. And I think that's something really valid to think about it. And coming back to your point, I think that whole visualization sequence, I know people that are listening to this are going to play that back on a daily. It's going to be called Daniela's successful visualization to success. That's what it'd be.
Yeah.
That's what we'll call it.
Maybe I'm going to make a podcast about that. Just that.
I think
nothing
so.
else.
Yeah. You just talk about that.
Yeah.
And play to sleep. So just, going back, that visualization, the techniques are great, but also when you're thinking about the goal, even like the goal that's slightly closer, and you gave a really nice rundown of like the 2-year where you are, even thinking about the challenging goal that you're trying to overcome right in the here and now, picturing yourself and the stages and going through that, I think it's definitely worth thinking or focusing on as well. Knowing that in 12 weeks, this is where I am now, 12 weeks, or even 6 months. So we're November, right? It's December in a couple of days. This time next year, peak of summer, that is where I'm going to be. And make it a realistic goal. Make it a realistic and achievable goal. Not something like this, a walk in the park. Make it something, work with your coach and really think, that is what I want to do. And then that's it. We'll work through together, work back through the steps and work on the plan to make that happen.
Yeah, I love that. And just 2 things I want to touch on that you already mentioned, but I think the one that I really liked, surround yourself with like-minded people. I think that's a key, and that's so important, because when you are with people that maybe they're not into their fitness, maybe they just don't see the value about, going to the gym or training or following a meal plan. When you're around those people, you're just going to think to yourself, like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And it's because in the group that you are right now, for them, it's not normal. So they're going to make you feel like what you're doing is abnormal. So it's going to make it easier for you not to go forward, to keep doing the thing that you're doing. That's going to put a barrier, and you're simply going to hold back, because your environment is going to influence you so much. And you're going to feel like, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe this is no point. Like, this is pointless. And then you're going to stop. But if you surround yourself with a group, with a good community, that's going to make a huge difference, because you will be able to discuss with them about your fitness problems, your fitness success, your wins, your challenges. They will understand what you're going through, because they're going through the same challenge or same challenges. And it's going to be easier for you to identify with them and have that conversation with them. And the second thing that you mentioned that I forgot, I was going to say something. Yeah, learn from your mistakes, learn from your failures. Because when people say, I've tried everything and nothing has worked, so I'm just going to stop and I'm just going to accept the way that I am right now. you haven't really tried everything. Because if you have, you will be successful by now. Trust me. This just means that what you've tried, it didn't work for you. But this doesn't mean that you haven't tried everything. So just learn from everything that you've done, see what things maybe you need to change, what things you can improve, and then make the change and try something new. There will never be such a thing as I've tried everything. Every single time people say that, like, I've tried everything, I'm like, no, you haven't. If you have, like, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. You haven't tried. Do you think you have?
Have you
But
tried
believe
me?
me, you haven't.
That's what you're saying.
You haven't tried me,
have you
so
tried me?
yeah, let me show you. Exactly. Yeah. So just don't feel like, don't tell yourself like, I've tried everything, this is not working. You haven't. You just need to try something new. If you keep trying the same thing and the same approach, you're gonna keep getting the same results. If you want to get new results, try a new approach and change things. But yeah, two things to keep in mind: your environment and the things that you have tried. Learn from those mistakes. But yeah, I think we've come to the end of the podcast. Unless there's something else you want to add, anything you want to mention.
No, I think it's great. And one thing I will mention is that this podcast or pod talks, if you like, is like a regular thing now, guys. So, you know, if you're listening, you want to reach out to either myself or Daniela, then you can do via Instagram. But this is definitely something that we are looking at keeping on a regular, because we just love catching up and just learning from each other. And yeah, it's great. This is like a really nice, cool way of having a long distance relationship.
I know, yeah, it's working. This relationship is working.
It is, yeah. So guys, if you're out there and you've got a long distance relationship, maybe get on a podcast with them and you'll learn a whole lot more about each other.
100%. That will be a challenge for you guys. Do the podcast and then see if that, if that relationship works. That's a good point.
Exactly. Not a bad shout. Okay. Perfect. That's all from me.
But yeah, that's all for me as well. I hope you guys are getting amazing value from this pod talks, from this episode especially. I hope that you can remind yourself that you are worth it and that you can make the changes that you want. Trust me, believe me, we have been there before and we thought to ourselves that we were not capable, but we're here now and we're showing you that we are capable. You can achieve anything that you want. If you like this episode, make sure to share it on your social media and tag me and Richu. Me at Daniela Del Carpio, that's DanielleDelCarpio, or Richu, that's at RICHUBRAR. Until next time, and as I always say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ciao.